on. What is going on? Oh, I hit. All right, I hit go live, but then it's two go live, so I only hit one, so it didn't really.
Oh, no problem.
Let me see. Okay, we are. I think we're live. What happened to this?
I don't know. I'm going to have to go check to see.
Hold on. Yeah, I think we are. Because for some odd reason,
Oh, it
it's
says we are
acting
live.
up. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. What's going on? Hold on. Yep, here we go. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy JC from JC Eagles Talk. And sorry about that. Hey, a little bit of difficult technical difficulties, but we are here. We are now. And before I get started, happy Veterans Day to all my veterans out there. Look, I appreciate every one of y'all. Hey, I'm a vet myself. I did 15 years, so I really know the sacrifice that each veterans put into this, the blood, sweat, and tears day in, day out. So from me to y'all, from my family, a happy Veterans Day. And I hope y'all enjoy this day. Kick back, relax, and had a few beers and watched Thursday Night Football. But hey, so I have a special guest with me tonight, and she represents, the Denver Broncos. Of course, we are about to find out what's going on behind enemy lines. So without further ado, let me introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Brianna Maestas. I go by Bree. I'm a diehard, lifelong Broncos fan, a 6-year season ticket holder. I'm one half of the Orange and Brew Takeover, where me and my co-host Lindsay Bebo run down the week, preview the upcoming game, and talk about all sorts of antics not football related at all. Our episodes go live on Fridays, and you can listen to them anywhere you get your podcasts. You can also find me on the Fan Cave radio show for Mile High Sports every so often to cover the Denver Broncos. And most importantly, you can find me on Twitter, where we have a bunch of fun in Broncos country, talk ball, and everything else under the sun. It's nice to be here.
Yes. Hey, it's nice to have you here. So hey, go check her out on Twitter. That's where I found her at, is on Twitter. So and like I said, we had a chance to talk before we went on. She does a lot. She constantly just doing live streams with other Denver Broncos. So just go show her love. We already know how we do it in the city of brotherly love, regardless what team, what fan they are, besides the Dallas Cowboys. But regardless what other team they are, we show our love, we show our support. So go check out her Twitter. So hey, look, let's get into it. The injury report, as far as the Philadelphia Eagles go, I mean, we have everybody pretty healthy, limited practice for a few folks, but nothing serious. We got our guy, our heart and soul in JJ Arcega-Whiteside, the best blocking wide receiver, second round pick we ever had. But so he even practiced limited. But going into that matchup, the Eagles are looking pretty good and pretty healthy. So what are some of the injuries that the Denver Broncos have?
What are some of the injuries we don't have? The bye week could not come at a better time for the Denver Broncos. So after the Eagles on Sunday, we're going to be on a bye week. We're going to get some much needed rest. Bradley Chubb should be back after that game, so he should be available for the Chargers, if not the Chiefs, the following week. The Denver Broncos list of guys either limited or did not practice is startling. So we lost Graham Glasgow from the line with a leg fracture against the Dallas Cowboys. He had a scary moment. Wish we could have prevented it. But we also had Tim Patrick go down with a case of the cramps, and we thought that was going to be a lot worse. Our lines are really hurting right now. We have our defensive lineman, Ajim, go down with a knee injury. Garrett Bowles, our offensive line, he is the heart of the line. He went down with a knee. Bobby Massey's out with an ankle. Thankfully, on the did not practice yesterday, but today they were limited with Shelby Harris, Caden Stearns, Malik Reed, Albert O, and Patrick Surtain. So I don't know if they're going to play Pat on Sunday. That one's still a question mark to all of us, because this team is limited with random bumps and bruises. So if you pull up our roster on ESPN, it is just IR, questionable, out. I mean, our team is broken down. You're going to see Quinn Miners, Calvin Anderson, and Cam Fleming on the offensive line, and they're green. So
oh wow, look, Look, I would say, hey, we are lucky that we are catching y'all at the right time. But hey, y'all playing the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, we're 3-6 for a reason. So I mean, hey, y'all might play y'all second, third, fourth stringers. Who knows what's going to happen? Y'all have a shot. Let's put it that way. Y'all have a shot. Offense and defense to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, you are what your records say. Period. If you're a bad team right now, there's still 8 games left, but right now, currently, we are a bad football team, and you are catching us. Man, I don't know if it's a good time or bad time. It is what it is. You catching us at a time where we can't stop nobody. But we'll talk all about that. So what was your expectations coming into the season, and like, how do you feel right now, sitting at, I believe, 5-4? So how are you feeling right now? What expectations coming into the season and your record prediction, and are y'all on track for that?
Sure, that's a fair question. I spent a lot of time out at training camp this off season, kind of rolling with the expectations. We were embattled in a QB competition between Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock coming into the season. It was contentious, not only for Broncos country, but I'm sure the team was just as tired of it, trying to find the guy who's going to carry us through the season and hopefully going forward. Teddy Bridgewater ended up winning that, so he's our starting quarterback. I don't know how long Drew Lock will be on the team going forward. It was kind of a split 50-50 in Broncos country who would get that starting job. Teddy ended up winning. He won over the love of the locker room, and he started off really well the first 3 games against the Giants, the Jets, and the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, after those games, we hit a really tough road with 4 back-to-back losses, and finally we're able to beat Washington football team and just recently the Dallas Cowboys. So it's safe to say that it has been a roller coaster of events for the Broncos, and I think we're on the upswing again. So this momentum should carry us through. Prior to the season starting, I was
hoping not. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that y'all hit your wall and y'all still celebrating from last Sunday big win against the stupid Dallas Cowboys. I'm still hoping that y'all out partying and then y'all show up to the game like it is what it is. It's the Eagles. We got to bye next week. I'm just hoping for that.
I know. You'd never know with this Broncos team. They are wildly inconsistent. So that's been an issue that we've been dealing with, is can they pull together an extremely talented roster that has a lot of injuries that have eaten us up. But the great thing about George Paton is he was able to staff not only our secondary, but everything else with the tools needed to succeed when these players went down. And inevitably, much like last season, we've been bitten by the injury bug again. And these players have stepped in, a lot of them rookies, and they're continuing to crush it. So my prediction coming into the season was hoping for 10-7. So 10 wins. Okay. I think we're in contention for that if we're able to defeat some of our conference rivalries, the Raiders, who will find a way to Raider, and the Kansas City Chiefs that don't look very well. They don't look like the Chiefs of 2 years ago. So I'm looking forward to it. And I see you have the schedule pulled up. So after the bye week 11, we'll be going in playing the Chargers and then playing the Chiefs. The Lions should be an easy game unless we decide to play down. The Bengals is going to be tough. The Raiders is an away game. It's over at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. And then Chargers come to town, and the Broncos will play the Chiefs in the last week of 18. I think that one, it'll be surprising if the Chiefs have somehow found a way to make it to the playoffs without, having to go wild card round. I think we have a great chance of beating them without their starters in. But honestly, the way they're playing right now, I don't think we have anything to worry about.
Oh, okay. Look, hey, we're about to see. I mean, there's one team that I never count out, right? Is the Kansas City Chiefs. One, because I love Big Red. That's our old coach from the Philadelphia Eagles. So Andy Reid, and he'll find a way. And then they have the most talented quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion, and Patrick Mahomes. Yes, they are going through a little bump and bruises right now, but I think that they're going to find their way. They came up with a big win against the Aaron Rodgers-less Packers. But hey, that might have been a morale booster, but who knows? But the Chiefs, hey, right now in that division, who do you have winning that division?
In the AFC West,
Yeah.
probably the Chargers, but they've been starting to regress a little bit. So I really don't see the Chiefs, and this may be a little bit of fan analytics here, but the Chiefs are continuing to regress, and the quarterback is just, I don't know if it's a play calling issue. I don't know if it's a Patrick Mahomes issue. I'm not afraid of the Chiefs right now. I'd like to see what they do, through midseason and see if they can kind of step it up. But I'd be more worried about the Raiders finding a way to capitalize on their momentum. But I'm Chargers probably.
Okay. All right. So, all right. So, you said that you plan on. Well, I mean, your record prediction was 10-7. So y'all still on pace for 10-7, right, to finish and get in the playoffs as a wild card team.
We have the ability to, yes. It'll take beating a couple of tough teams. Like I said, we still have 5 of our 6 conference games coming up. So to win all of those would be a big ask. I'm thinking we can probably win, I would say 3 of those without really worrying about that. I'm worried about the Bengals. Okay. I'm not worried about the Lions. So
you're not worried about the Eagles either, huh?
I left that off just to be, nice.
To be nice. How dare you be nice to us? Hey, we from Philly, we could take it. But okay. All right, yeah. So, like looking at your schedule, I see possibly like, okay, this should be a give me win, right? The Eagles and the Lions, but everything else, I mean, y'all. It's going to be pretty competitive, but hey, who knows? Any given Sunday, that's why the game is played on the field and not on paper or injuries and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, your 2 guarantee win that you said, your 3 guarantee win that you said was the Eagles, the Lions, and who?
I am hoping we can beat the Raiders in Las Vegas would be nice. It just depends on how they're looking. They're wild. I mean, Derek Carr is a roller coaster, so I don't know what to expect from him. It really should be a shock to my system, but I'm hoping so.
Okay. All right. So look, as far as the Philadelphia Eagles go, hey, this is our schedule right here. I mean, we thought, hey, in the beginning of the season, we thought if we could get through the first 6 games, possibly 7 games, that we will be in perfect position to beat the sorry Broncos and, to go on a run, the Jets coming up with the Giants and the Saints. But it seems like every team that we're about to play are hitting their stride exactly when we're about to play them. I was like, come on, man. The Chargers lost 2 straight. I mean, like Justin Herbert was looking like pathetic, and now they play the Philadelphia Eagles. We made him look like a Super Bowl MVP type of quarterback. So it seemed like that these teams we about to play are hitting their stride at the right time. The Denver Broncos, man, they started 3-0. I mean, they was on fire. People was like, Denver Broncos is for real. Oh, my God, they're about to go Super Bowl. And then they lost 4 straight. Oh, they trashed, dumpster fire, get rid of everybody. And then they won the past 2. I mean, the last game was a eye-opener for a lot of teams. And y'all, literally beating the Dallas Cowboys 30-0. That's what I say. It's 30-0. That 16 point was just a stat pad. But y'all beat them 30-0 because it was 4th quarter with like 6 minutes left. Whatever. The team just stopped playing. And now y'all about to play the Philadelphia Eagles. Like we are catching y'all when y'all up and up. And then next week, like you said, is your bye. Just like we played the Las Vegas Raiders. Like right before their bye, and they came out and they showed out and they put up 30-something points on the Philadelphia Eagles. And now we got to deal with y'all. So right now our schedule, we're hoping, but it's going to depend on which type of defense we have showed up. All right. So we have a defensive coordinator and Jonathan Gannon against pretty good quarterback that he respects. He played back. He plays soft. But against bad quarterback he don't respect, he blitz. He flexes muscles. And that's the problem we have in the city of Philadelphia. All right. We have a defensive coordinator that is confused when to play aggressive, when not to play aggressive, when to bring the blitz. And, and our offense is putting up at least 24 points per game. So we definitely good in scoring, but we just can't stop anybody. So we have no guarantee win on this schedule no more. Like coming into the season, I thought the Denver Broncos would be a guarantee win. The Jets would be a guarantee win. The Saints without Drew Brees and without a Michael Thomas, guarantee win. The Giants stinks, guarantee win. But now, I just don't know. I'm just hoping that this game right here showed me something because we have to win this game. It's just plain and simple. So we'll see what happens. So we catching y'all at your perfect time, but at our worst time.
Sure. Yeah. You can fall back on that if they lose and you can just say, it was the timing that did it.
All right. So look, Von Miller, like I consider the heart and soul of the Denver Broncos, right? I mean, he was Super Bowl MVP. I mean, he had that iconic strip sack of Cam Newton, just grabbed it out of his hand and almost scored a touchdown. I mean, this dude was a beast. And then y'all trade Von Miller. What was going through your mind at that time? Did you think that the Broncos was, just calling it, hey, we lost 4 straight. Yes, we beat the Washington football team, but still, So, like, what was going through your mind when they traded Von Miller?
To say shock is an understatement. I was on the highway on my way to an appointment and I broke down sobbing. I could not believe that that's the decision that they decided to make on trade day. I do think that overall, if you want to consider it a good decision for the player, I mean, Von Miller was the Denver Broncos. And I have a tweet about it on my page where not only was he the face of the franchise, when you ask anybody who's a player on the Denver Broncos, Von Miller is a super easy one to pull. And not only that, he was extremely decorated and one of the highest performing pass rushers in the league. I mean, he was still top 5 in pressures when we traded him. So his sacks had fallen off a little bit. I don't think that means that he was burnt out or washed up. Von Miller was still performing and is still performing at a very high level. So it was shocking and it was tumultuous throughout Broncos country because we all could not believe that our guy, I mean, he was my John Elway. He was the guy who meant the Broncos to me. And so it's heartbreaking. I hope he has nothing but success with the Rams, and with the Rams picking up OBJ, I can't see why they're not making a huge push for the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I mean, my heart's still broken. It's like a bad breakup, right? Where you're like, you want to see them happy, but man, does it hurt you?
Yeah, I mean, look, usually in a breakup, I guess you'll choose to leave, or one side say, hey, I'm done with you. I really think that Von Miller, he probably wanted to stay a Denver Bronco. I mean, he don't seem like that type of player that was like, okay, we're not winning or we are in a rebuilding year, I want to leave. I mean, he didn't seem that type to me, but look, I'm not inside the locker room or anything, so I don't know. But outside looking in, I've never heard nothing about Von Miller but the highest compliment. Like, he's one of the top edge rushers. I believe he has over 110 sacks in his career. I mean, this guy is a monster, a leader, and this move remind me of DeMarcus Ware when he left Dallas, went to Denver Broncos on his telling of his career and won a Super Bowl. So this move right here, Von Miller on his telling, going to the Rams. I really think that the Rams is going to win a Super Bowl, especially like they keep making these stupid, like sick moves. Like, where do they get the money? I don't know. I mean, hey, OBJ and Von Miller, I mean, Ramsey, Stafford, but they had no picks next year besides 2, I believe. But hey, who cares about the picks? If you could run it back, if you win the Super Bowl and run it back with this team could only get better. I mean, who knows what might happen? But Von Miller, hey, I would not be hating if he wins another ring. I mean, because he's an outstanding guy. I always love Von Miller as a player.
Absolutely. And he, his mantra was always Denver Broncos for life. So maybe there's a chance that he pulls a Shannon Sharpe and he's able to come back. I don't want to be in denial about it. So I'll say, I wish him the best. And if he comes back, it was meant to be.
Yeah, I mean, facts. Look, he might come back and sign a one-day contract and retire as a Denver Bronco. never know. But that's what a couple of Philadelphia Eagle greats have done. They come back and sign one-day contract just to retire to make sure that their careers are cemented in that organization. So, but Grandizer was like prior to the 2021 NFL season, what was Brees Bronco team record prediction? Has that changed now? I think we answered that, right? It didn't change from 10-7, right?
Yeah, I think we 10-7. I'm still thinking we still need 10 to make it to the playoffs. So I'm going to stick with that. Still feasible at this moment. And because I am, a fan before anything, I'm going to say it's still quite possible, especially with how we're playing, if we can maintain consistency.
Okay, all right. Hey, if y'all watching, man, just shout out to everybody that's watching. Please hit that like button and that subscribe button for your boy. It helps this content get pushed out. Even though if you're watching and you're a Denver Broncos fan, look, I do the play-by-play every Sunday. So this Sunday, I am going to do a play-by-play. So feel free. If you're a Denver fan, you can't get the game, just tune in, and just hear me, cuss and yell and be happy and cheer. Whatever happens because is a natural emotion. I'm watching the game, but its only difference is I have a computer staring at me and people want to talk to me, but it's okay. So subscribe to this channel, help your boy get to that 2K. And please, if you're watching, go hit up my girl Bree on her Twitter. She does drop a lot of Denver Bronco content on other channels and stuff like that. So just go give her a follow and you won't be disappointed. All right.
I appreciate that.
No problem. All right. So give me your thoughts. All right. So the Broncos, like I said, they're coming off a great win. I mean, I didn't see it coming. The world didn't see it coming. If I saw it coming, I probably would have went to Vegas and bet my whole life savings. And I probably would not be doing YouTube no more. You know what I mean? Because I'll be on an island somewhere. But I didn't see it coming. The world didn't see it coming. So what are your thoughts on this upcoming game, especially coming off this big win last Sunday?
Absolutely. So I didn't see it coming per se. I did not expect a dominant performance to the fact where we outscored them unanswered 30-0 before they scored those extra points in garbage time. So, but I did think that they had the possibility of beating that team. And I don't know if you want to call it delusional. However, it was backed up by the hope that the run game would just blow them out of the water. And Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon did a fantastic job. Both of them almost had, they both almost had 100-yard rushing games. Javonte Williams had 111, and he was extremely efficient because he only had, I think, 17 carries. Melvin Gordon had 88 yards with 21 carries. So they're both really impressive, and I'm glad that Pat Shurmur's using them at the same time. So we're really able to see a run game that wasn't working really well in the games leading up to this one. So that was the number one key to victory. The defense was also absolutely stunning. You had Caden Stearns out of nowhere with an interception. You had Justin Simmons, who some would say is the new face of the franchise. I am wearing his sweatshirt right now. Like, he was able to rally the defense, and I think he really got to them and let them know that if they don't fight now, they're not going to fight for the rest of the season. So it was really impressive to watch the defense do exactly what they needed to do, capitalize on turnovers. A couple of karmatic football god events happened that went our way, and we were able to control time of possession to almost 41 minutes while the Cowboys had the ball for under 19. So those were huge, and the only way to replicate that, right, is to learn from our mistakes from the season. Don't script every single play. And hopefully going into Sunday, we're able to do the same thing. I'm expecting a really big game out of Javonte Williams, hoping he gets a touchdown because he was in the end zone last week and they didn't give it to him. So he got robbed.
But that means he didn't get it. If he was in the end zone, he didn't get a touchdown because the Philadelphia Eagles had Goddard in the end zone for a touchdown. Devontae Smith in the end zone for a touchdown. Chris Watkins, they didn't count, so they didn't get it,
Yeah, that's fair. But, I mean, this game, it's going to happen. So mark my words.
Whoa. Wait. That's a bold prediction. Who again?
Javonte Williams.
and let him know who got stopped. Javonte Williams?
Javonte Williams. And you're going to have
running back, right?
You're going to have an extremely hard time trying to stop him because last week alone, he had 7 forced missed tackles, which was second tied in the league. Like, you're not going to bring him down. I don't care who you put on him. It's going to take like 5 guys to take down Javonte Williams before he stops running.
Wow. I mean, look. So, all right. So, would you compare him to an Austin Eckler?
You know, who would I compare him to? Edgerrin James? I mean, like,
that's going back. Okay.
Like, you're looking at a man who weighs, I think he's above 250. This guy is a bowling ball. He's a human wrecking ball. So you're not able to slow him down. He leads the league. I think it's 35. So through week 9, he leads the league in 35 forced missed tackles. Sheerly because you can't stop him. If he can learn to be just slightly more patient and find the correct hole to run through, he's unstoppable. You have him outside and he runs outside, he's going to be getting, he actually is overachieving and over efficiently running yards after contact. So he's able to, even after people grab him, I mean, he's unstoppable. And I can't stop gushing about him because it's so impressive to watch him. That's no slight to Melvin Gordon, who's also a very impressive running back.
Yeah.
But I don't see how Melvin is able to maintain the same amount of carries if Javonte Williams is going to continue being more efficient.
But why not? I mean, why can't you have, thunder and lightning, like 2 good backs? That's what, like the thing that kind of disturbs me a lot sometimes about fans. As soon as they see one running back is doing great, now all of a sudden they want that running back to be the guy and then, trade the other running back. So what's wrong with having 2 good backs? A fourth quarter, a Melvin Gordon, he's a fourth quarter type of guy. He will wear you down. He does not go down on the first tackle at all. So I mean, I watched him play with the Chargers. I have him on my fantasy team, so I've seen him play, year after year. So and I was shocked when the Chargers let him go, but hey, they let him go.
It was a great pickup for us. And hopefully, who knows what his future holds with the Denver Broncos. I don't know. It remains to be seen whether or not they bring him back. I don't know if they will, but he's been a dual threat. He's very impressive when he gets the ball, and he's scoring touchdowns still. So I don't see why we can't run that dual threat.
Okay, all right. So Grandizer, I want to know who won the Von Miller trade, the Broncos or the Rams?
It depends.
They get what, second and third for him, right?
Yeah, and George Payton's all about building that war chest. So if you have more darts to throw at the board, and I think we ended on good terms with Von Miller. As a fan, I lost hard, but I think the Broncos did the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree. I think that the Broncos won this trade. I mean, yes, that Von Miller. Unless you could tell me that the Broncos were Von Miller away from winning the Super Bowl, then the Broncos won this trade. I mean, getting a second and a third, picks for him. For a guy that's older vet, and now y'all got Chubb and stuff like that to replace him, kind of. But yeah, y'all definitely won that trade.
Not only Chubb, but Jonathan Cooper, who was a 7th round pick, is coming in and performing. Now, obviously, you can't replicate Von Miller, but you're able to fill that void. Jonathan Cooper came in against the Cowboys and had his first and second career sacks. So I don't think we're going to necessarily be down a Von Miller to be able to go to the Super Bowl. We're down a quarterback, but we have the linebacker. I mean, our entire starting linebacker core is injured, and we've had everybody stand up and still perform very high level.
Okay, so I mean, it's funny how you said that you're down a quarterback. So all right, so Drew Lock, he's what? Not the guy, right? So he's definitely not the guy. You're definitely about to move on from him because I mean, y'all picked him a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
And Teddy Bridgewater, a journeyman since he left Minnesota. I mean, he went to the Saints, the Panthers, and now the Broncos, to beat him out. So y'all definitely going to move on from him. Teddy Bridgewater, I don't know how long y'all have him assigned for, but what's wrong with John Elway? I mean, he's a quarterback himself. How come he keep missing on these picks, these quarterback picks, like year in and year out? Like what's going on?
That's a loaded question, but so John Elway thankfully, or however you feel about the situation, it is no longer in charge of those decisions with George Payton taking over as general manager.
Okay.
And it depends on what camp you subscribe to. So I kind of subscribe to the I wish Drew Lock would have gotten this year also, to kind of show whether or not he actually isn't the guy. I don't think 18 games was enough for him to really showcase his exponential growth.
But didn't he start this year or no?
No,
Drew
Teddy
Lock.
started.
And then Teddy got hurt, and then Drew came in
for one game.
for
Yeah.
one game. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's been kind of a grab bag of we didn't know what to expect, and then we felt kind of betrayed by a quarterback competition, and then we really didn't get the results that we thought we were going to because Drew Lock seemed to do really well during training camp, and we thought it was his job to lose. Turns out they really wanted to trust Teddy because he's a lot safer and a lot more predictable. You kind of know what you're getting with Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah. Simple.
Yeah, he's simple. I think a lot of people use the word boring. I don't. I love Teddy Bridgewater. I think he's a great human being. But I don't know if he has what it takes to continue on for a second year with us as our starting quarterback. I think half of Broncos country would actually lose their mind if that happens. So it's kind of like depends to see how the rest of this season goes. He may shock us all. He's on track to have more touchdowns. I think his record's 15 in a career or in a season in his career. And he's going to surpass that. I think he's on track for like 24 or 25. So do I think that he's grown as a quarterback? Absolutely. He has amazing weapons in his wide receiver core. But it all remains to be seen whether or not we can continue down this path. A lot of people think that like we needed an elite quarterback in there like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. I don't want Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson's a great dude, but I really want to find a quarterback that's ours and build them into our system and have them have some continuity in their offensive coordinator, in their head coach. So a lot of the things Drew Lock didn't get, we'll never know now because you've basically ripped the pot out with the roots attached. So yeah, I think we're a quarterback away, or maybe we'll come and shock people. I don't really know. This team's kind of crazy. So
yeah, look, I think that your defense could bring y'all very, very, very far. As long as you have that one quarterback that won't throw the game away, cause y'all to lose that game. That is a Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, he's a game manager. You know, everybody hates that word game manager. But look, if you have a great defense, which y'all right now in top 10 in every category, we'll go over it. But so Teddy Bridgewater is the perfect quarterback for this team right now because y'all all run heavy, but y'all also are balanced with the run and the pass. And your defense, like I said, y'all have a top 6 defense ranking. Y'all could go far. As like I don't know if it's Super Bowl far, but y'all could definitely get into the playoffs and possibly make some noise. So who knows?
Yeah, there's contention still. So
yeah. So Grandizer want to know up to this point, what 3 Broncos rookie has impressed you the most?
Ooh, that's a tough question because I have 4. So
hey, give us 4.
I would have to say, first and foremost, I've been raving about him all show. Javonte Williams, who just won the NFL Rookie of the Week. When you think about angry runs, this guy should come to mind. He's thundering through defenders, snatching souls. In the game against Dallas, he recorded his first 100-yard rushing game. He had 7 forced missed tackles, 5 runs over 10 yards, and 64 yards after contact. He's tied with Nick Chubb for the most forced missed tackles in the NFL with 35. And I'm extremely excited to see him grow and shine on Sunday. Like I already said, I'm predicting another huge game for him. Number 2 would be Pat Surtain, our cornerback, who
my guy.
Man, I was so elated when the Broncos chose him. I wasn't looking for Fields. When they called his name, I was thrilled. I could not stand it.
So was you shocked when they drafted Pat Surtain? I mean, there were like at least 3 quarterbacks left on the, like in the draft that y'all could have probably drafted and built around. But to take a cornerback, I mean, in the first round, like the top, what was your number, like 6 or 8?
9.
9.
So yeah, it wasn't shocking because Trey Lance was no longer on the board and he was the one the Broncos were after.
Okay.
Even though I think, Mac Jones wouldn't really have fit the scheme, I think he is a Patriot. Fields wasn't on the radar for us. And although there were a lot of quarterbacks still out there, they weren't the ones that we wanted. So I was not shocked when they went with Surtain. There was a little bit of a draft day hiccup where somebody reported it was Fields and because they got the wrong information. But it was Surtain, and I was so excited to see his name picked because not only is he as advertised, he's consistently been so good. He's versatile. He's been able to be utilized across the secondary. I mean, they've thrown him in dime. Broncos country's been like ranting and raving about him since he started. He's fun to watch. He doesn't have a lot of mistakes. He makes a couple of them because he's a rookie, right? Yeah, but right. It's hard to find a complaint about him. And let's say he's unable to go on Sunday. What's even more exciting is Nate Hairston's going to be able to get rotated and do just fine. He's not a Pat Surtain, but he's just as explosive and has a high impact in the secondary. And then I said I'd give you 2 more. I'll make it quick. Caden Stearns was a 5th rounder in the draft, and he's been one of the breakout performers for the Broncos rookie class. So he had 2 interceptions this season, and he's only playing 21% of the defensive snaps. So talk about efficient, play as a safety. And so he's got 12 tackles and 4 passes defensed, and he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. So out of his mind. And then rookie Jonathan Cooper, who was drafted in the 7th round, he didn't even know if he was going to get picked because of his heart conditions, right? So no idea that he was going to be able to get replacing Von Miller or stepping in as that linebacker position. And then he has his 1st and 2nd career sacks against the Cowboys. So he now has 15 tackles, 5 quarterback hits, and 2 sacks through 9 games with high efficiency. And most of those stats didn't come until his last 2 games. So those 4 guys are absolutely killing it out there. I have no doubt in my mind that if you put them in there and let them do their thing and play their game, they're unstoppable. And they're rookies.
Yeah, I mean, look, it sounds like that. Look, y'all defense is set for years to come. All right, let's put it that way. The Broncos are known for defense. I mean, they're not known for offense, but they definitely know how to draft, defensive players, that tough-nosed type of nasty defense. So, I mean, look, the future looked bright for them. Hopefully, it's not bright on Sunday. Hopefully, the Philadelphia Eagles will kind of make y'all look a little less than top tier defense. So who knows what's going to happen. But
did that make you nervous at all though? Did that?
What? No, because I have the whole confidence in my offense, and Jalen Hurts and Javonte Smith. If Patrick Surtain is out, who's going to cover Smith? Devontae Smith. Please don't tell me Darby, because we had Darby in Philadelphia and he was burnt toast all the time because he used to jump routes, and that's why we didn't sign him, because he was trash. But that's not saying a lot, because every player seems to leave the Philadelphia Eagles go out and get better on every other team besides the Philadelphia Eagles. So how much was it Darby? How much was it the Eagles playing scheme? Who knows? But who's going to cover Devontae Smith if Pat Surtain? The Alabama connection is not there. So who's going to cover Smith?
You're probably going to see Kyle Fuller, Nate Hairston step up and really make a dent in some of that. I wouldn't say that you're going to see the same output. I know Fuller's had a couple of bad games. He really completely redeemed himself against the Cowboys, so I feel a little bit better about him. He knew exactly what he needed to fix and came in and did what we need. He totally redeemed himself. So we're excited that he is learning and fitting in with the scheme. I think there's a Mac McCain on the roster, but I couldn't tell you anything about him. I mean, we're hurting in the secondary. So if Pat's not able to go on Sunday, I'm really hoping Justin Simmons can cover on the other side, and we can just hope that they don't go too deep on us, because we might get burnt. Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles have not thrown too many deep passes. So, I mean, they try to do everything underneath lately. They try to be a run-heavy team, but hey, we'll see. So let's go into
I did have a question about that though. Is how are you guys feeling about Jalen Hurts in general? Because is he considered a mobile quarterback right now? Like, is he efficient in the run?
Yeah, look, hey, I personally love Jalen Hurts. I didn't love the pick, a couple years ago when we did have a franchise quarterback, quote franchise quarterback, and we drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round instead of giving our quarterback some help. But hey, bygone be bygone. He's gone now, but Jalen Hurts is our guy. I love Jalen Hurts because he reminds me so much, like the way he carries himself, the way he talks, like compared to Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say he's gonna be as good as Russell Wilson, but he like his mentality, his swag, the way he talks, like nothing ever really fazed him. So he's always and then take responsibility for every loss. Like I mean, even though it's not even on him, but he constantly putting the blame on him because this is his audition year. All right, so this is it. So the Philadelphia Eagles possibly could have 3 first-round picks: the Dolphins pick, our pick, and the Colts pick, because we trade Carson Wentz for second round. But if he plays 75% and bring 70% and bring the Colts to the playoffs, we get a first round pick. If he plays 75%, we get a first round pick. So right now he only got to play 3 more games, and then we get our first round pick. So we possibly have 3 first round picks. So Howie Roseman is a snake. So that's why we never know what he's thinking of. Like, is he going to go out and try to get a Russell Wilson or a Aaron Rodgers, that's quote unquote, if this is his last dance. So, but that's the only reason why that he's kind of putting a lot of pressure on himself. But if it wasn't for Jalen Hurts, this team right here would have like gotten sacked the most. His escapability, he's a dual threat quarterback. Like every game, he's rushing for over 50 yards. Like he's escaping the pocket. When the pocket collapse, like come down on him, he's gone. When I tell you, he's out of there. And the fan was like, hey, I need him to stay more in the pocket because that's how much he was running. Mm-hmm. But lately, he's getting better. This is going to be his 14th start. Usually a rookie plays the whole 16, game. But game by game, he's getting better. And, and he's looking pretty good. But the fan base is split 50-50, whether we want him or not, just because we're not winning enough games. If we was undefeated right now, and he was playing exactly the way he's playing, we would want him to stay. Like 100% of the fan base would be like, yep, he's the guy. But we're 3-6, and there's a couple games on him, but there's a lot of games on the defensive coordinator and the scheme that we got him playing in. But lately, like I said, the past couple of games, we've been running a lot more. We averaging over 200 yards, combined with those 2 games. But look, he's definitely a quarterback that's going to rush for over 50-something yards on Sunday. So it's going to be important for the Broncos to stay disciplined.
Well, I will give you a stat that will I don't know if you're going to like it very much, but the Denver Broncos.
I love stats. I love stats.
The Denver Broncos are incredible against super mobile quarterbacks. So thankfully, the Broncos have been able to limit quarterbacks that are deemed running threats. 19 carries for 104 yards. So against guys like Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson, Taylor Heineke, they've allowed 16 carries for 86 yards. True threats like Lamar Jackson was limited to 27 yards rushing. So wow. I don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball. I wanted to know how strong Jalen Hurts was as a running, because I don't think he's going to be able to.
He's second in the NFL as quarterback-wise and rushing. So he's behind Lamar Jackson. So that's how of a dual threat he is.
Yeah.
That was one of my concerns, coming into this matchup, was because you see the stats right here, like the rankings of the Denver Broncos defense. I mean, they are incredibly, great in passing and rushing and points allowed and first and fourth down defense. This defense that we are about to go up against is no joke. And they played the Dallas Cowboys, which was probably one of your biggest challenge, especially on the defensive side, because they do got CeeDee Lamb and Cooper and Dak Prescott and Zeke and all this, Gallup, but y'all still shut them down. So like I'm hoping that Nick Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon watch what they did to the Dallas Cowboys and do the opposite. I saw a lot of like they don't really blitz though. Like the Denver Broncos don't really blitz. They get home with the front four, and then they play very aggressive defense. So I mean, they play man up defense a lot. I mean, they are a very aggressive defense. So no wonder why if you get home with your front four all the time, why should I blitz? I mean, that just make it harder for the quarterback to find someone open when you drop in 7 and try and get home with your front four. So this defense is ruthless. It's very, very good. Like people didn't know how good they were until they played the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. That's when I was like, what? Man, they ain't that good. And then I pull up the stats and just like, wow, this defense is pretty darn good. Yeah. So that's my biggest concern, going up against the Denver Broncos is that defense. But I really think, that Teddy Bridgewater, I'm not going to say your weak link, but he's not going to wow nobody. So he's not. So I feel like if we could get up 24 points, put 24 points on y'all, that we should be okay. But we'll see.
We'll see. He's got some good connections with his wide receivers. Mm-hmm. We have one back from injury, so you'll see Jerry Jeudy really trying to utilize his running ability and see if we can't get him far downfield. So we'll see.
Yeah. So look, all right. So now, what is your biggest concern facing the Eagles defense? But before you answer, right, I'm about to show you something. I think I showed it to you before we went live. But the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, this is their Eagles defense ranking right here. Their worst completion, they allow quarterbacks to throw more than 75% completion every game, like literally. I mean, they make quarterbacks. If your quarterback is struggling, play the Eagles defense. And I promise you, he will get it back on track. So this is the Eagles defensive stats, from game to game to game to game. We are a pretty poor defense when it comes to all this bend don't break, because that's the type of defense we play, a bend don't break type of defense. But if you're playing a capable quarterback, a smart quarterback, a Teddy Bridgewater, he's gonna take what the defense give him. So he's a smart quarterback. We gonna get beat 9 times out of 10. Like it doesn't matter how much points you put up. So what is your biggest concern after you see this? Man, I don't know if you're gonna go off of that or not, but what's your biggest concern facing the Eagles defense?
That's a good question because I know we struggle in the red zone with Teddy B as our quarterback. We didn't last week though, so I think maybe I worry about them kind of taking our weaknesses and putting them on show. Just because when we are down, we're down bad. I know your cornerback, Darius Slay, is talented, has 2 interceptions on the season already. I don't know who he's going to be covering or who his matchup's going to be. So I'd like to see how he limits our receiving core, depending on who's out there. Other than that, I'm kind of looking forward to finding out how they pressure us and how the offense adapts, and if Shermer can make some creative play calling to get around that. I'm not familiar with your defensive linemen, so if you could maybe cue me into their way of play.
Yeah, look, our defensive line is at least top in getting pressure. We got this guy named Javon Hargrave. He's a monster, but he's been MIA the past few games, and that's kind of disturbing a little bit because he was the guy that we, like the Philadelphia Eagles fans, day in, day out, game in, game out, say, hey, Javon Hargrave is about to get us another sack. Ever since he had 6.5 sacks the first 6 games, he's been really MIA. And then we got a guy next to him, and Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox is an Eagles legend as of right now. He's one of those guys that that offensive coordinators go in and say, hey, we need to stop Fletcher Cox. We need to double team him, triple team him. And that's the reason why his buddy next to him, Javon Hargrave, was getting all these sacks. But they've both been a little MIA the past couple games. So I'm hoping that this game right here is the game that they get back on track. And also Josh Sweat. We gave him a big deal before the season started. Our edge rusher to rush the quarterback. And so far, he got like 3.5 sacks in a season. And then we have Barnett. Look, Derek Barnett, to me, he plays for the other team. Whatever team we're playing, he's your best. He's like a spy. You know what I mean? He's really a Denver Bronco, but he's dressed. Because I promise you, last week, this guy in Derek Barnett got more penalties in 5 years than sacks. That's not like, I believe he had about 20 sacks in 5 years. He got about 24, 25 penalties. So, and not only that, it comes at the worst possible time. It's 3rd and 6. Trust me, y'all going to get a first down because Barnett will find a way to jump off sides and give y'all 5 free yards. Like last week, worst time in 3rd and 6. We are about to go for a stop. This dude jumped offside before the quarterback got even under the center. The quarterback was talking to the coach on the sideline. He jumped off sides. Like, how that happened? Like, I don't understand how that happened, how you have such bad luck with penalties. So that is the most disturbing part about Derek Barnett. He was playing great last Sunday. And then that one crucial time, under 2 minutes, boom, he jumped off sides. And that was basically the game. So he's really a spy for the other team because his timing with penalties is horrible. Like you would literally think that he's auditioning for every other team that he played for besides the Philadelphia Eagles. But yeah. But those are our beasts in the front four. But we do have some rotational pieces in Ridgeway and Milton Williams and Jackson that could also come in and get to the quarterback. So, but the problem is the quarterbacks that we played get rid of the ball so fast that we don't have time to sack them. So I don't know because Teddy Bridgewater seems like that he holds on to the ball because he's getting protected very well. But if he's not getting protected, then he's going to get sacked because he does not get rid of the ball so fast. So yeah, that's our defensive line.
My worry there is exactly what you just touched on, is that Teddy holds the ball too long and quarterback pressures just become too much for him and he starts making mistakes, or he decides to take a sack or throw the ball. Like if you're able to pressure him and he's not able to get his first or second read because he's running for his life, I find that to be a possibility where you derail us.
Yeah, and my biggest thing facing the Broncos defense is y'all rush defense. It's going to be a big test. Like I said, the past couple of weeks, we have dedicated ourselves to running the ball. And then we could, do play action off of that and stuff like that. But y'all rank in the top 10 in rush defense. And then y'all definitely rank in the top 10 in pass defense. So where is the Broncos' weakness on this team? Like, if you were the head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, what would your game plan be against a team that's ranked top 10 in both run defense and pass defense? Like, what would you try to exploit more on that Denver Bronco defense?
You're probably going to want to have a strong run blocking core on your offensive line, just to be able to run the ball and do it consistently. Just because we have a strong run defense won't necessarily show up if you watch the Cleveland Browns game where a third string running back in D'Ernest Johnson just ran on us all night. So there's a little bit of inconsistency there. So if this is a game where we're unable to stop the run, you continue to run the ball against us. And then you pressure Teddy B as much as you can. You take advantage of the offensive lineman missing an assignment and you rush them hard. So really, it's all about just exploiting the little mistakes too, because if you allow us to get a little mistake, we're going to capitalize on it. So I think that's all really football is, right? Is like playing your game. don't screw up too badly. And if you do, hope the other team doesn't take advantage of it. And I think if you were able to capitalize on a turnover, that would be huge against us, because I don't know if we have the efficiency to come back and answer for that.
All right. So what? All right. So what is your strength and weakness on offense? Like, what do the Eagles need to look out for?
Absolutely the run game right now, because both of those running backs are on fire. But I think Jerry Jeudy and Tim Patrick are your big wide receivers that you are going to want to watch out for. Jerry Jeudy has incredible body control, where he's able to, when he's route running, control his speed and kind of like stutter stop. And like, it's insane. It's almost matrixy to watch him play, because he's out there, running and crossing and kind of turning on a dime, and defenders don't know how to cover him. So if he gets past your defender, you're done for. And then I would say Tim Patrick, he is Teddy B's most reliable target out there right now. Hardly any mistakes. He's had like an 86-yard game last week. So I'm going to say those two are going to have really big games, but our weaknesses come when we can't capitalize, because our red zone offense, I mean, once Teddy gets within that, within the 20 yards, he can't capitalize. We can't seem to punch it in. And that's gotten a little bit better, but it continues to really be his downfall, where he can have time of possession, draw out the drives. But when it comes down to scoring, it's like this cog is missing. So I think the run game's got some juice in them to where we can turn that around and actually make it a positive. But if you really want to take advantage of that, is like, you hold steady on defense and don't let us score.
So you mean to tell me go out and pick up the Denver Broncos kicker, because he's going, because what y'all get in the red zone, y'all can't score. So that's what you're telling me.
Yeah, you want him on your fantasy team. Unless it was last week when he couldn't hit anything. It was scary. He's one of the he's one of the most consistent kickers, and he had a bad game. So
yeah, I know. I was watching the game and I was like, come on, man. You should have hit that. Especially the extra point that he missed. I was like, what in the world? But hey, y'all got the win, and hopefully he start missing every kick this Sunday. Like, hopefully that his leg is cramped up and he can't play. Like, all y'all players, I'm hoping that all y'all players get cramped. Y'all can't play. Y'all at home. But the Philadelphia Eagles are all of our 3 wins, right? Our 3 wins came on the road. It came on the road. We can't win at home. So if we was playing at home, I'd be like, oh my God, we about to lose. But we are playing on the road. Even though it's mile high, the air is a little thin. But we'll see, because I'm interested to see this game. We are on the road. There's no pressure. And we'll see what happens. So give me your impact players on both sides of the ball.
Oh, let's say if Patrick Surtain cannot go on Sunday, as far as defense goes, Draymond Jones and I would say Simmons are probably going to be the impact players on the defensive side of the ball that you're going to want to watch out for. Shelby frickin' Harris with his hands. I mean, don't throw in his direction if you want to get past him at all. On offense, I'm going to say, I was talking about him earlier, Tim Patrick and Jerry Jeudy are going to be the 2 most wanted men for the Eagles defense, because they're going to probably be a little unstoppable if they get on their game.
Yeah. Look, I have to agree with you. The way that we played the Chargers this past Sunday was very, very disturbing. We did go against Mike Williams, a big body wide receiver, Keenan Allen, Jerry Cook, and those guys. The Philadelphia Eagles have really small corners. Like Big Play Slay, is our biggest corner that we have that actually starts. But for the most part, we have some small corners, and like Tim Patrick, I've seen him play, and he's your biggest body wide receiver in Sutton, and Jeudy could get behind the cornerbacks like that. He remind me of a Ruggs, and like those type of Alabama type of wide receivers that are speedy and fast and good with route running. So my biggest concern is Jeudy. Like, who's going to cover him? Is it going to be Nelson or Slay? It depends, because Slay don't travel. He stays on one side and one side only. So, but we'll see who covers who. That's going to be the matchup. But I really feel like because we lost because of our defense last Sunday that Jonathan Gannon is going to be aggressive this Sunday. So you might see a lot of man, like little 5 yard cushion. That's it, and then the blitz might be coming a lot more. So yes, certain Sutton and Judy and all those guys, they may not have a chance to catch the ball because we're gonna probably play them like we did with Dallas, but a little bit more aggressive because Dallas had Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and Gallup, all this big skill wide receivers, but we play a bend don't break type of defense. So we'll see what kind of pressure we bring on Teddy Bridgewater because does Jonathan Gannon fear Teddy? That's going to be the question. If he fears him, then y'all going to dink and dunk all day. If he don't, it's going to be a lot of 3 and outs, a lot of sacks, and stuff like that. So, but we are about to wrap up pretty soon. I have a couple more questions for you. So let's do this. All right, and let's do the 3 keys to victory. What are 3 things if the Denver Broncos were to win? I think they're going to lose, but if they're going to win, what are 3 things that they need to do right in order to win this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I'm going to say Teddy Bridgewater has to protect the football and continue to make some good reads. Pat Shurmur's going to have to make some good play calling, utilize the rush. I'm hoping big run game. And then the defense needs to go out there, contain Hurts is for the Broncos' top priority. If they do that, I'm not increasingly worried about them being able to, but if they aren't, that's what's going to be our downfall for sure.
Okay, all right. So look, the Eagles, if they win this game, Jalen Hurts will have to play a big role. Like you said, like the Broncos are good in stopping mobile quarterbacks. But guess what? That's Jalen Hurts' game.
Mm-hmm.
That's his game. He thrives off of escaping the pocket. If you watch all these Eagles games, you saw like if we didn't have Jalen Hurts, we would have a lot more sacks. Like last Sunday alone, we probably could have had 6 sacks. But he's so elusive, and he's not like a Lamar Jackson, but he's like an undercover fast quarterback. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, no, he's not running that fast. Also, you just see the gap, the distance, just going away from him. But so Jalen Hurts needs to have a big game. All right, that's one. Number 2, we need to establish the run. With Jordan Howard being signed to the 53-man roster, Jordan Howard and Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell. I believe that Kenneth Gainwell could be an Austin Eckler type of back. This is his rookie year, so but he could catch out the backfield. You could line him up as a wide receiver, so he's going to be a matchup problem for whoever try to cover him. And I think that our defense, my last key to victory is our defense have to play press. We cannot give Teddy Bridgewater time to pick us apart. He's a smart quarterback, but he's very, very calculated. He's not going to throw it up. So we need to play a little bit of press, blitz. Like you can't send the blitz, but then drop your defensive end and you send your cornerback. So you still got 4 guys rushing. That didn't make no sense to me. So that's kind of stupid blitz that we're sending. That's not getting home because we're dropping someone back. We're sending cornerback, but it's still 4-4. Well, 4-6 or whatever it is. So our defense, Jalen Hurts, and our running game is my 3 key to victory. All right. So my last question for you is this. I know you're going to say the Denver Broncos. So at least don't be rude. Don't be rude and say, hey, look, it's going to be 100-0. So what is your score prediction and who wins?
I'm more realistic than that. I think it's going to be 27-21. I think the Broncos are going to be able to drive it home. It's a home game. We should have better attendance than we did against Washington football team. Coming off a big win, I think the momentum is going to carry us through. I think Javonte Williams has an incredible game, and then hope Jerry Jeudy has a touchdown as well. So I think they beat him by at least 6 points.
Okay, all right. So, hey, my game prediction is this. I mean, every time I say a game prediction, it never goes as predicted. So I'm going to go with. I really think that Philadelphia Eagles could win this game. No bias at all. I really think they can. I mean, they hung in there with the Chargers. I mean, punch for punch, blow for blow, they was hanging in there. I really feel like that Herbert is a much better quarterback than Teddy Bridgewater. That's why we can get to him and blitz him. I feel like that Bridgewater, he holds onto the ball a little bit too much. That the Philadelphia Eagles defense, the front, should play a much better game. So I feel like it's going to be 28-24 Eagles. We just going to like just just get the right amount of turnovers, the right amount of pressure in order to get, Teddy off the field. So Philly Pop, have a question for you. Can she
Oh,
describe the sweater she's rocking? You said that
oh,
what sweater is that? Who's
so it's the Justin Simmons Foundation. So he actually did a collaboration with the Tansy Therapy. I don't think you can see that, but my friend Mario Vitanzi is the owner operator of bodywork specialist, chiropractic, physical medicine. So he works on a lot of the players and a lot of us, and like he runs a business, and he runs these sweatshirts as kind of donates to charity. And this one in particular was it got donated to Justin Simmons Foundation. So yeah, I love repping this one, especially on away game days, because it's bright orange. It's perfect for the Denver Broncos, perfect for the new face of the franchise, Justin Simmons. They're actually not available anymore. It was a one-time kind of thing, but it's pretty cool.
all right. And just to let you get out of here, so let them know where they could find you at and what are you working on. And when can we expect you to, have your own channel? You know what I mean? Hey, you're doing a great job just coming on here. You know your stuff. So, hey, I'm not trying to put no pressure on you, but hey, when could you, just let them know, what you're working on and where they could find you at.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now I'm a free agent. I am jumping on every show that I can. You can catch me all over the place, mainly Broncos, Mile High Roundtable with those guys. They're amazing. Always, if you want to see what I'm up to, you can follow me on Twitter. I always retweet every project that I'm working on. Hopefully, very shortly, we'll have our own show to do. So me and Lindsay Bebo, who currently do the takeover for Orange and Brew podcast. We should be having our own shortly. And then you can catch me just about anywhere talking about the Denver Broncos.
All right. So, and hey, if you on here, so obviously I'm hoping that you are subscribed to my channel. Like I said, whether you are Eagles fan or not, if you're a Denver Broncos fan and you want to see me do the play-by-play on Sunday, if you can't watch the game because the game maybe not, going to be aired on a lot of people's network or channels. So just subscribe to my channel so you know when I go live and help your boy get to that 2K. But, like I said, as always, um, hey, this is JC from JC Equals Talk. Go Birds.
All right, let's go Broncos.